Hello and welcome to another Cubase tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be talking about MIDI. M-I-D-I. MIDI is a musical instrument digital device. Basically it is an industry standard protocol for communicating between MIDI instruments and devices. There are no versions of this, and there hasn't been since 1982 when it's actually defined. MIDI was set as a standard in 1982. There have been no changes to the language, and it can still be used, like fairly modern USB to MIDI, can still be used with some of the early MIDI devices made, like drum machines or things like that. MIDI allows you to communicate with any MIDI device or instrument with ease, because there are no versions. You don't have to go, oh, this is version 1.2, so I have to buy something like version 1.3 to make sure I can talk to everything in my studio. It's just one language, 1.1 actually, to be more specific, and it ranges for all MIDI instruments and devices. In Cubase though, we accept MIDI signals coming in. We can accept up to 16 inputs and 16 MIDI outputs. Now, to create a MIDI instrument, there are two ways of doing this in Cubase. You can either hit F11 to bring up VST instruments, or you can go to Devices and go to VST instruments from there. VST also stands for Virtual Studio Technology, and VSTI is Virtual Studio Technology Instruments, which allow you to use synthesizers, pianos, you name it, within your computer. So, F11 or Devices and VST connections. Ooh. VST instruments, sorry. So here you can click on the drop down, go over, say, Steinberg, Hallian 1 in our first track. Do you want to create a MIDI track assigned to the plugin Hallian 1 and create? Now, this way creates a lot of mess in your project, but it is the preferred way. Here you have your MIDI track, which has all the MIDI data on it, and what this does is it sends it to this instrument track here, and this instrument track processes the data into sound, which outputs out through your speakers. You can set the output here. So you do this, it's automatically routed to wherever you want it to go, and it's accepting all MIDI inputs by default. You can set it to a specific one. So when I play like a chord of C, you're going to see in activity here. So you can see there's activity on the meter, which shows there's MIDI input. The MIDI input meter is dependent on the velocity of the press. So let's just record a simple chord. So now I've recorded a simple 4-chord pattern. Now I'm just going to loop this like so. Now we can choose our VST instrument. I'm just going to go with a simple piano sound. Let's go for Yamaha S90 ES piano. So as you can hear there, we have our piano sound. So now this isn't the only way to create a MIDI track. The second way is to go to Project, Add Track, and Instrument. Now from here you select the instrument you want. I'm going to go with Hallian again. Click OK. Now with this one, there's already input, and it's outputting to Hallian 1 instead of the Hallian 1 track that we have here. So it's going straight into its own VSTI, which is here. So basically this method, the first method I showed you, creates a separate track. It allows more flexibility in the long run, but this one is basically for like the new users who don't use MIDI as much. This allows you to route the same MIDI track to other like devices and stuff like that. So I prefer to use it this way because it creates less mess per se. So now I'm going to choose what I want. I'm going to go with the Yamaha S90 again. Oops. Yamaha S90. And I can just copy and paste this. Solo it, and you can hear the piano is coming in again. So that's how you play around with MIDI and inputting it. There's features, there's loads and loads of like different things you can use to like improve your playing. For example, there's quantize, which brings it all onto beat, and there's a plethora of things you can do. Like I can even, if I'm not happy with it, I can quantize the length to 1:1. I can make sure it's like on the dot. So you can change the note lengths, change the pitches, or whatever you want to do, you can actually do it. So, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you learned something in this video, and I hope to see you in the next one when I'm talking about routing things and sending effects into Cubase. So thanks for watching, and I should hope to see you in the next one on the 29th of November.